only place on the internet where you can find about all the latest stuff going on across the video game industry. As always, I'm your host, Andrew Hamilton. It's Roy Ogletree, my co-host.
Yay!
And we've got so much to talk about, I literally can't tell you.
Yeah, and sometimes these episodes just get deleted, folks.
Yeah. If you missed last week's episode, us too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We're going to make up for it by being way too heavy-handed with all the stuff we have to talk about today.
Everything's dying, and you are too.
But first, here's a bunch of fun stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about the State of Play and the Nintendo Direct from earlier last week. We're going to get into some of the next-gen watch for Nintendo, because we're finally reaching their version of next-gen. And then, boy, oh boy, did Microsoft make a big oopsie.
Did they? Does it even matter?
We don't know. Well, it's a lot of information we didn't have before, and now we have it, so let's talk about it.
Let's do it.
First, let's talk about the State of Play and Nintendo Direct. Kind of a mismatch of things, but like PlayStation focusing on things that we know are coming out, Nintendo focusing on announcing things that are old that are coming back. You can feel that the Switch is coming to its natural conclusion here. They're not announcing massive tentpole franchises anymore. They're like, what if F-Zero, but it was Tetris 99?
What if Paper Mario again?
Remember Thousand Year Door? You guys like Thousand Year Door? Let's do that one again. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD? You better believe it. Peach gets a new game right as the
Super Mario RPG, baby!
Super Mario RPG! Everyone's looking forward to that. If you're not looking forward to it, you're wrong. I'll tell you about that.
Also, Tomb Raider.
1, 2, and 3 HD. The pixels have been smoothed out, but they're still a little angular. They're just smoother. It's not like...
We made Lara Croft smooth.
Yeah. What if Lara Croft but smooth? I don't like that sentence, actually. That's a bad sentence. But I was actually way more interested in what PlayStation had going on for obvious reasons. Because, you know, barring Final Fantasy Part 2-3 XD RPG remastered.
Was it Final Fantasy
Deluxe.
7 remaster?
It's the 7 remaster Part 2.
I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not a Final Fantasy guy, as we've said on the show. I kind of was hooked by just the way that it looked.
So cool.
It looked really cool.
Look, the one thing that
half of the Final Fantasy stuff is always like not gameplay trailer. But, you know,
there was a lot of gameplay in this one though. And I think that leaps and bounds, it looks better than like Final Fantasy 16 or even the last Final Fantasy 7 game looked. There's also a lot more. Like the first game was best described as being the first 5 hours of the original Final Fantasy, but 40 hours long. And this game is more like the back 30 hours of Final Fantasy 7, but 48 hours long.
Oh, sick, dude.
Because they've added a bunch of mini games. Look, I'll tell you the one thing that hooked me on this game more than anything. Let's go to
cat person.
I love the cat person. You gotta love the cat people, but it's the Segway. Can I get the Segway footage? I mean, come on. You're telling me that's not the best fast travel system in it's not really the fast travel system, but I need it to be the fast. I need you to have to real time ride a Segway from location to location. And
Spider-Man's like, we have seamlessly transitioned to fast travel.
Final Fantasy's like, what if Segways for the fantasy?
What if we brought back a unicycle?
Cloud,
one of those big wheel bikes.
Cloud was a penny farth.
Yeah.
Cloud could only get from city to city on a big wheel.
Yeah.
No, dude, I would play that DLC.
Sure.
Make it a cart game in between locations where it's just
one of those play carts you push your play cars that you push your kid around in.
Not one of the powered ones.
No, the plastic one.
So what's gotta be? You gotta press X the whole way there.
I thought that looked cool. I mean, the big thing is Spider-Man coming out.
Yeah. Really overshadowed everything else that was there.
Horny Splatoon was.
Yeah,
also,
I don't want to talk about that one.
Oh, okay. What is that called?
It's Foam Party.
Foam Party, right?
Hey, are you interested in? Is this something you wanted? I'm asking legitimately. Is anyone in the audience excited for Foam Party? Of all the things announced during this State of Play, where you like, my number one takeaway was I got to get in that phone party.
Yeah, it's immediately what I was thinking, to be completely honest with you. And now I'm on a list.
What's wrong with you?
No, I mean, before we like really talk about Spider-Man 2, the Ghost Runner 2.
Yeah, Ghost Runner 2 looks
cool.
Great. Avatar looks surprisingly competent. But
yeah, I thought for sure that wasn't going to be a thing that was good.
It looks better than it did during the last trailer.
Right, but it's also, like we said before, and we'll say it again, it's Far Cry.
Yeah.
People Far Cry.
But I do like that there's a little more nuance to the stuff. They do seem to be leaning into the lore quite a bit, so It
also looks like your avatar is going to be able to carry around multiple weapons, which is sick, dude.
Yeah, dude. Look, don't make me have to choose between my guns, okay? When I'm in a game, I want hammer logic, hammer space logic, where I can just pull nonsense. Like I've got my character looks like he's got a handgun and a bow, but I pull an RPG out of my ass every time.
As he just literally they pulled out a bazooka, and I was like, where did they have that? Who knows?
It was in the loincloth.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the pouch of holding.
I don't know. I went from like 50-50, I might play that.
I was like tepid to slightly
I really
warm.
may just if that gets discounted, I'll play. No, but I think like Ubisoft, on the PlayStation or Ubisoft Plus, whatever it is, I really might give that a whirl. I think it's more 70-30 that I will play it than I won't.
Hey, Sony, since you're raising the prices of stuff, that would be a worthwhile investment for you to make if I'm paying $150 a year for your services now. Just give me Avatar so I don't have to pay for it. And we'll call it even.
Yeah.
I'll call it even. I'm not like, that's what I want from these services. Everyone wants like Spider-Man and The Last of Us and Halo.
No, it's a tier under that.
I don't want that.
I need the tier under that.
I'm okay with paying for games I was already gonna buy.
Yeah.
What I want is a service that lets me play games I was probably not gonna buy unless they were on heavy discount.
Yeah.
Games I'm unsure of. Games that may not be fun to play in the long run. Things like, well, I mean, like a lot of stuff that's on this paper, but not like baby steps.
But yeah, right. The problem. Do you think like they have trouble identifying what the? I think they know, but like they don't want to like.
They don't want to tell a publisher. I think that we
know what this is going to do.
We want your game on our service, not because it will draw the attention of people, but because people are going to see the middling reviews and they're going to be like, well, I wouldn't pay for that.
Right.
But if it was on the streaming service,
every Ghost Recon game,
any insert Ubisoft game for the most part right now.
Yeah, baby steps, which
glorious,
cool, awesome, man.
Best game of the year. I'm surprised we haven't seen Squirrel with a gun at one of these yet, but
they added more guns.
I need more. I'm gonna put the footage right here, but we need more of this. I need more squirrel guns. But let's just get to the big one. Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2 is it's awesome. Like I'm already ready to say that this is going to be the best game that I'm going to play this year.
Whatever tech innovation,
I know that's not fair to like Baldur's Gate.
Look, like I've played Baldur's Gate. We're not going to have time to talk about it today, but I'll tell you my experience later because it took us almost 90 minutes to get into where we could play multiplayer.
Love that.
I like it, but it's
love that.
There's a lot of things I would like to be a little bit better about that. But Spider-Man 2 took everything that was great that I didn't think that they could improve on and said, no, of course we can make that better. They said, yeah, we've got the best swinging mechanics in any Spider-Man game, but it's a little slow. What if you could slingshot from anywhere, had a wingsuit, were able to use air currents to move yourself. Also, the swinging is faster, has more unique animations, better opportunities for mobility. Like, they just made Spider-Man more Spidey.
Yeah, they made it work. I mean, they just made the already groundbreaking mechanic work better. Yeah. And I think that a lot of people, like, especially on the YouTube videos that I've seen in the comments, because I scour those comment sections on, normally it's a cesspool on comment sections, but on the ones for video games,
sometimes
I think people are brutally honest.
People will be like, "This game looks like 2005," and I'm like,
with this, I think people are really it's Spider-Man. People are always going to love Spider-Man, but I think people are really excited of how much feedback that Insomniac took
and actually used.
and actually used, and like, and Insomniac seems to have taken user feedback, and all game studios say that they do, but like they seem to have taken a bunch of user feedback and been like, and really improved on what people wanted to be. What I wanted to do, I wanted to cross that Brooklyn Bridge, and guess what, buddy? We got more spaces.
It's in it. We got Brooklyn. We got Queens. We got Harlem.
Don't worry about the rest of New York.
Look, that's a lot of space.
It is. Considering how densely packed the first game and Morales was, like, I fully expect to be playing this game for hours and hours, even though...
I will platinum this.
You think so?
Yeah, I platinumed the first one. I platinumed Miles Morales. I'm going to platinum this one.
Yeah, I think it's one of the few games that I rarely 100% games, but the first Spider-Man I think I did. I
did so by accident.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I was just playing the game and I happened to complete everything. I was like, okay.
Because that's how it feels, but they've somehow seamlessly now it feels. We don't know. We haven't played the game. Some people at IGN have.
We didn't get invited.
But
whatever.
I think, yeah, it is whatever.
I'm not mad. I'm just
totally not mad. They've also somehow seamlessly what was already a good in Miles Morales, a good fast travel mechanic and like seamless transition, made it to transition from one Spider-Man to the other Spider-Man, but also like the fast travel in general.
The fast travel has
seamlessly.
It's a seamless animation. It's near instantaneous, so is the character swapping. But on top of that, it's not set to a specific location in the area anymore. You can just drop your fast travel pin anywhere and fast travel within a city and just start swinging there. And then when you're out doing activities, you can run into the other Spider-Man who will be there to assist you in fighting crimes and stuff. Like, there's so many little nuanced things that I love that they've done here that just improves on, like, literally, it's a game I didn't think could see much improvement, and they've done improvement in places I didn't know I wanted improvement.
Yeah, and we're yet to play it, and obviously they said, oh, well, there's 65 new suits and 200 new
love the
customizations.
Yeah,
it all looks great.
Saw the Spider-Man 3 black suit in there from the Raimi movies,
and of course they blew it and said that Venom is going to be, but that wasn't their fault anyway. They're going to put Venom in there. And I think I'm the most excited about this game that I have been about one in a very long time.
I'm excited for 19 inches of Venom.
Don't. You know what you did.
Come on,
Twitter.
IGN. Come on.
You know what you did.
Well, actually, that was PlayStation that tweeted that out. It was
a literal UK, Spider-Man. I think it was a Spider-Man account.
Yeah, it was the PlayStation UK account that was tweeting out the collector's edition. Like, get ready for 19 inches of Venom.
Everybody's like, what do you mean?
Come again?
What do you mean?
No.
Do not shoot webs. Cut that.
Yeah, we'll have to cut that part. What's great about Spider-Man is also that it's gone gold now, so it is officially ready to go. So it's going to launch on time. There's no secret delays coming, which is good because if they had delayed it at like the start of October or something like that, I was going to flip my console off the roof. Because it's my hopes and dreams right now is to be. I need pictures of Spider-Man.
Give me pictures of Spider-Man. I think that
we're gonna hold a photo contest.
Huh?
I'm gonna hold a photo contest on. Okay. So just so you guys know, because I'll bring.
That's how we spend most of the time playing the last Spider-Man.
I have over 500 pictures of Spider-Man from digital photography in that first game in Miles Morales. So I want you guys to send us your Spider-Man pictures after Spider-Man 2 launches. Just bombard us on social medias, anywhere you can, KWTX, Hardwired, Royden, me, doesn't matter. Anyone, and just send us pictures of Spider-Man from the game. I don't want you to find random people dressed as Spider-Man or someone wearing a Spider-Man shirt. Don't send me pictures of spiders. I want Spider-Man. He's a menace.
Yeah, I don't have much else to say. I'm really interested to just get my hands on this game. It'll be a first night release thing that I play.
Pre-ordered as hell, bro, and I'm taking the day off. Like, I'm not even kidding.
I think anything else about this game? Like, this just makes me more excited about the Wolverine game too.
Yeah, dude.
Even though I haven't played
so excited
the new
to
Spider-Man.
know what's going on with Wolverine. And that's the biggest thing about these conferences. Xbox is playing catch up, right? They've been, we got Starfield, Forza. They're starting to hit a stride of sorts, but they're playing catch up. They're on the back end of all that. They're relying on these newer titles to drive stuff. And we're about to get to where that strategy comes from a little bit. But PlayStation has had so many things that they just need just the one every year. Just the one
To get
big
people
thing
back moving.
to get people excited for the whole year. All year long, I've been looking forward to Spider-Man, and it was enough to maintain my momentum. Into the fact that Spider-Man 2 was announced like 2 years ago, and I'm still more excited now than I was then, is a testament to how well the drip feed of Spidiness has really benefited them. And maybe Nintendo can pick up on some of that concept right there with the lead into their next console.
I was gonna say just one more thing from like Nintendo Direct. I was looking at the games here. Of course, like they're coming out with a Princess Peach game, which it just seems to be a bunch of mini games.
Kind of. There's a Wario game, and then Princess Peach is getting her own platformer.
Had Princess Peach ever had?
She did. She had Super Princess Peach on the Nintendo Game Boy.
Okay.
But that was a while ago. It's been a hot minute since we had a.
It seems like an untapped market that you just haven't. Like, why haven't you done that?
Yeah. And it sucks that it takes this long into the cycle.
So the dying cycle of.
But could be indicated they're looking at some of their other characters for franchise opportunities going into this next console. So.
Trombone Hero.
Yeah, Trombone Hero. Great game. Excellent game out on the Switch right now.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to.
Very silly.
That's what I wanted to point out was Trombone Hero. Also, they have like several farming RPGs coming.
Too many.
They like know people are obsessed with Stardew Valley.
I guess. I don't know.
That's what it seems to me.
Everyone seems to think I'm gonna make a game this year. What if I did a farming game? No one's done one of those, and I'm like, everyone.
Yeah, it's like Kingdom Farming Simulator.
If you told me Call of Duty had a farming game mode now, I'd believe you.
On top of that, what was this one?
Starring Nicki Minaj.
What?
She's in Call of Duty now.
Yeah, I think that I'm like all in on the Prince of Persia side scroller.
Yeah, dude, it looks so good.
I don't know if you had anything to add to that.
It just looks good.
It looks really good.
Not only did we get
Bandletale was the one that I was thinking.
Oh, yeah.
That looks interesting.
Not only are we getting a new Prince of Persia game, which was surprising in and of itself, but for it to also look good
for Nintendo Switch.
For anything.
Or is it? I thought it was it not a Switch?
It's not exclusive.
Or a Nintendo reveal?
No, it's coming to all platforms.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw that on the Nintendo Direct thing.
But they did show off more gameplay during the Direct.
I don't know. It
looks really good.
Yeah.
And I've been excited for it since they announced it earlier last year. At the end of last year. But just the fact that we're getting a new Prince of Persia game kind of gives me hope. Yeah. It's still crazy that the remaster got delayed as far as it did. We got to move on though.
Anyway.
Also,
speaking
Nintendo,
of the Switch, yeah.
We are finally hearing some reports about the fact that they have shown off the successor to the Nintendo Switch, a Switch 2, if you will. And you will, because if they name it that, that's what you'll have to call it. So we've been hearing some details, not a lot of solid evidence yet, but this makes sense. It's basically the Switch, but oomphed up, you know? We've got more power coming from it, a slightly larger screen. It's gone back to the LCD screen instead of the OLED screen, but it does output at 4K when in docked mode.
Okay.
Allegedly, it's using the NVIDIA AI-powered graphics cards to assist in the processing, which means that it'll be able to have a power level similar to the PS5 currently, which is saying something because, and this is kind of how things go for Nintendo. They typically release their console halfway through the generation of every other console
to match
whatever the last thing was.
Wonder why?
I don't know, but it's normally because they develop these gimmicks.
I was gonna say, for somebody that is like always on the cutting edge of selling these consoles and like giving people kind of what they want as far as like gameplay goes.
It works for them though.
I don't know why they like. I guess they just have decided as a company is like we're just not going to be the ones that are like...
I think it makes sense, though, because Xbox and PlayStation released within a month of each other.
And they're killing each other?
They're killing each other. Meanwhile, the Switch was still going strong because it was an affordable option from the last generation that still had another 4 years of life left in it.
Also, they sell the same games over and over and over.
Yeah, but that's beside the point. And so now we're, if it comes out next year, we'll be 4 years into this console cycle. And so that's about as far as we were into the PlayStation cycle when the Switch launched. And so that means that they're in that middle ground. Like people have already decided if they want an Xbox or a PlayStation, which means that they're open to maybe a different style console. And it's going to be a while before the next gen thing from Xbox or PlayStation.
Yeah,
it'll look different.
As we saw from the leaked emails, we'll talk about like 2028, I think is what they said.
Oof. It's complicated. But so it sounds like developers are very excited about this. Again, we have no solid information on this, so I don't want to.
As long as, I think for me, in my house,
in this home,
I think for me, I think as long as they keep...
It's got to be backwards compatible. It has to be.
Just the portable gaming feature of it.
Yeah, which they will.
It made the Switch so unique.
I think they've realized that they can't step away from that now.
No, I don't think. I think it would be a mistake to really... when you have such a foothold in that space that now PlayStation is like, wait, we gotta bring back the fake PSP.
Which no one heard our comments about.
Yeah, I know. We went on a rant on that last week.
Yeah. Subscribe to our Patreon.
You won't even see it there. I just think that having such a foothold in that space and such a it actually works too. Like it would be different if it sucked and was bad.
Yeah,
but it's
great.
It's normally pretty good.
It's what makes that console run. Not Mortal Kombat 1, but like any other game. Have you seen the Mortal Kombat 1 for the Switch? Oh my god!
Does it look terrible?
It's so bad. Andrew put up the visuals. Oh,
is it?
It broke my paper. That's
what
how bad
what?
It was. Characters'
just
eyes are permanently open.
Oh, sick!
Hold on, let me pull up this picture real quick. So I just sent this to Robbie.
I do love how Nintendo just does not care about that. They're just like, yes.
Yeah, it's bad, and when you're doing fatalities, it runs at like 4 frames a second.
Oh my god,
it's rough.
It is so weird that Nintendo is just willing to take a bath on these AAA games.
But it's not even Nintendo that did it. Like, I assumed that they were pitched that there was going to... Because when they announced the Switch version, I was like, what? A Switch version? Why? They're not even doing last-gen versions of this game. Why are they doing a Switch version? And then they were like, oh, it's going to have it'll be a cycled-down version, but it'll be of quality. And... that was, NetherRealm and Warner Bros. Saying that. But then it came out, and it's like, okay. And Nintendo's like, that's not what you said. And Ed Boon's come out and been like, oh, yeah, we're going to fix it.
Yeah.
So
again, it's just so funny to me that Nintendo, like we've been talking in circles this entire time, is so willing to just be like, be late to the latest adaptation.
They'd rather be late and nail the landing most of the time than...
Yeah. And that's why they're the best run. They're probably the best run company out of all of these companies. Yeah. Speaking of not great run companies, if that feels slanderous, but
it is slanderous. I've got lots of slander in here because we're going to talk about. So, what day is it? Monday night. We found out that information that had previously been filed by Microsoft, what was supposed to be non-public information, was accidentally published to the public information side during the FTC lawsuit, which means that we got to look at the next 10 years of plans for Microsoft.
It was just sending an email, oops, CC'd.
Yeah, oops.
Oops, CC'd those reporters, boss. Didn't mean to do that.
My bad.
Oops, all reporters.
It's a rough one for them. Yeah, we got to look at a lot of stuff. We got to look at now. So we'll start with this. Phil Spencer has since come out and said, "Hey, We know. Okay? But also, that's not, it's not, we're not going to do any of that anymore. That's not the plan. Don't believe any of that stuff that's internal files that we didn't want you to see because we're definitely doing. That's not the plan. You can trust me. I wouldn't lie to you. While
man who has been in court cases for years now.
Man who let's see here said that they would not take games like Elder Scrolls 6 exclusive, and then in this very document, Your Honor, this is just a piece of paper with some words.
Which would be a document, actually. I think that's like the definition of what a anyway.
You know what? You're not wrong. And that does make
In fact, it is a Word document, if you will.
All right. Yeah, so, dude, just there's so much here to unpack. From the fact that, like you said earlier, we got a kind of an idea of when the next official Xbox console is going to be coming, leaning heavily into the cloud gaming side, a hybrid digital console for 2028. We found out about the Xbox refresh. I don't care what they're saying. This is going to happen. So Series X, Series S are getting refreshes probably in Q4 of this year.
I thought it was 2024.
Or maybe it was Q4 of 2024.
I couldn't tell you. It is
right.
Q4 of 2024?
Yes.
Okay. I thought it was earlier than Q4,
Back half
but it was,
of next year. We will not only be getting a refresh of the Xbox Series S and X, with the Series X becoming significantly less boxed and more circular.
It looks like a modem.
It went from mini fridge to modem.
Yeah.
So it looks like an Alexa, like one of those
Alexa towers.
Yeah. But it's a little bit more powerful, barely. It'll use less power. It's more green friendly. It will also have double the storage space at 2 terabytes while remaining $499. I think that's probably the most impressive thing.
2 terabytes for $499.
Doubling the size, but keeping the price the same.
You know, and I was looking at the S, and I was thinking, they made the S 1 terabyte, and I think maybe made it slimmer. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's slightly smaller, and it's black.
Yeah,
the 1 terabyte one's black.
But for a $299 price point,
it's $399.
$399.
Yeah.
I thought it was,
so
the S was a
Okay, so there's two things here. The Series S right now is $299 for 512 gigabytes.
Okay.
The 1 terabyte is $399. When this new refresh version comes out, there'll be a last chance marketing campaign, which will lower the price of the Xbox Series S at that time, the old version, to $199 for the last 3 months before it reaches an end of cycle or end of shelf date.
See, I thought I read where they were going to make the new 1 terabyte version $299. I guess gets confusing because Microsoft has yet to name their console something accurate and good.
Yeah,
and normal.
Why do you like this?
I will say I was excited for the price point, regardless of.
Yeah. The price points are good.
Regardless of the weird name.
And then on top of that, we're getting an Xbox Universal controller, which will be able to be paired to TVs, phones, your Xbox consoles. It will. I'm not entirely sure what that's going to entail as of right now.
Like to your PC, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you can use it with anything is the idea. And those will replace the current versions. It'll be the 2.0 version. It'll also now.
I like the look of it. It looks slimmer.
Yeah, it's a little slimmer, a little more ergonomic.
Mm-hmm.
And then instead of using AA batteries like they have been for the last quarter century, just about.
The only reason I have AA batteries in my home, though, is because I still own an Xbox 360.
I have an Xbox Series S, and I have to use AA batteries. Ridiculous. So a replaceable battery, so still requiring you to replace it
to charge it, yeah.
But now it'll be a proprietary battery. Sounds like one that. So instead of just being able to get any
blow up in your home,
totally won't destroy your house with a explosion the size of a small nuke. instead of being able to just grab any AA batteries from around your house, you'll now have to go buy a proprietary replacement battery from Microsoft. Classic Microsoft maneuver there. But the more interesting, not more interesting, but the another interesting thing to this, like a little wrinkle here, is all of those new things will also be coming through Xbox Design Lab, meaning that you'll be able to order custom colored Series X's and Series S's, as well as the new controllers. Which, if you don't know, Xbox Design Lab is actually really cool. It lets you create custom controllers right now. You know, different color schemes, swap out the button colors. You can swap the curvature of the joysticks out, change the triggers, all that stuff. And then you can even get engravings and stuff on for a little bit extra. You'll be able to do that with your consoles going forward, which is interesting considering they just announced, right as Starfield was coming out, they announced these new skins.
Well, Xbox has always been at the forefront of like, buy the Call of Duty,
yeah,
Nicki Minaj Xbox. It's not horny, we swear.
It's definitely not horny.
Or, you know, I mean, Gears of War was the first thing that I remember for doing the Halo.
There was a Starfield Xbox this year. There's a Halo Xbox, a Forza Xbox. PlayStation does the same thing. We just got a PS5.
You get red, blue, or white.
Spider-Man PS5 just came out.
Did you see that on the State of Play? They're
it's like silver though. I like the silver one.
Cool.
The red and blue, I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care about any of it.
I've never once cared about customizing my thing. I get why people do it.
It sits on a shelf and I stare at it occasionally, but mine is black and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think if you had like a room where, you know, it was about the aesthetic, and a lot of like creators do this. Yeah. I get it, but I'm also not spending hundreds of dollars to do it. If you have a significant other, they will kill you.
Exactly.
What you spent $300 on what? Well, Spider-Man want to be on the PlayStation. Anyway, so all the new things, I'm actually like, I'm not killing, like, we have come on this show and unapologetically over the past year or so, for lack of a better term, shat on Microsoft for their handling and business practices of buying up these companies. Them making new consoles I don't have a problem with that at all, especially for the price points that they're giving them. And it makes me would like to buy one at some point.
If it weren't for this next thing, I would agree with you.
That's where it goes off the rails.
This is the part where, well, I guess let me cover this other little bit. There's also indications that they are working on Oblivion and Fallout 3 remasters. Those are obvious things that should happen anyways. It makes sense. They're good content place fillers for if you don't have an exclusive to add, like Microsoft normally doesn't, then you would want to have something like that. PlayStation does the same thing. Uncharted Trilogy, the Uncharted Dual Pack that released for the PS5, Spider-Man Remastered. Those kinds of things are common. The Last of Us Part 1, that's all basically placeholders for where content would have been that was new, but it can't be because of insert reason.
I have like zero faith that those games wouldn't be broken.
Oh, they're going to be broken as hell, especially if they're just going to try to smack a new skin on them and hope for the best. But all this doesn't matter because Microsoft, you mother... Come on, man. Like, okay, so here's the thing. We got internal emails in which Phil Spencer...
We didn't. A higher reporting news organization.
They sent them to
Not us.
And I've been sitting on them for months. No.
No.
No. So there's emails in this leak that talk about Mr. CEO man Phil Spencer wanting to acquire and having considered options to... ensure the ability, let's say, to acquire not only Warner Bros. Interactive, which is a pretty large publishing arm and game developer in its own right.
They just made one of the 3 biggest games of the year this year.
Yeah, but also Nintendo. Hey, Phil? No, right? You can't have them. And I'll give you 2 reasons why. Number 1, don't. Number 2, they're not going to sell to you. Ever. Nintendo is pretty much on record as saying that they would rather go out of business than sell to a competitor. It's not going to happen. But this is evidence for me that what we've been saying is kind of true, that they don't see a path forward where they win with games that they build in-house. What their path forward is buying competitors until someone like Sony no longer has a way to supplement content throughout the year.
Right.
Or they own enough of the platform that Sony basically has to pay them to exist. Really, I think that's more the goal. They're not trying to drive Sony out of business. They're trying to make Sony only be able to thrive through them as a business.
Is it weird that I always think of like Nintendo, because it is separate, but like kind of Microsoft, Sony have this like weird ebb and flow where I think of them as like almost a separate space from entirely what Nintendo does.
Yeah.
Even like, yes,
A lot of people think that.
If they bought Nintendo, yes, that then gives them the whole other market to do the thing.
Yeah.
But I always feel like Nintendo is just kind of out here like floating on its own.
I feel like there's, and this is probably
like I know a lot of people
true.
play both, but I'm just saying
This
like,
is mostly true here in America, I feel like, because I feel like a lot of people think it goes PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, when in reality it goes PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox. Xbox in third place will continue to be in third place as long as they're doing what they're doing. So Nintendo is not like the small-time competitor. They have the other 35% of the market or whatever that Sony isn't occupying, and then Microsoft's over here with like their 27% or whatever. You know, so it would be more of a massive blow to the overall industry for them to do that, because it gives them monopoly power, like legitimate monopoly power.
You
like,
all of a sudden have 50% of the...
More than 50%.
Yeah.
You would own 60% of the marketplace. And on top of that, you get all those brand partnerships and stuff that Nintendo's been working so hard to preserve over the years. So now you've got more influence. You own two of the major platforms, two of the largest developers in the world, and you get to just sit there.
And not that you don't, but you all then have have a firm foothold in the Asian market as well.
Yeah, which Xbox has notoriously struggled with, which is part of the reason that they wanted to do it. Phil Spencer said that would be his CEO moment. And
he was basically, it almost felt like, it will make me a king.
He was like, if I can capture, the wording was real ominous too. He was like, I need them to
kill God or become him.
I will devour God and become one. No, he's like, I am desperately trying to make Nintendo see that the only future that they can have is through us.
And it was so ominous and weird because they're like, we're not threatening a hostile takeover, but wouldn't it be weird? Like he said that to his stockholders or the main CEO of Microsoft, but like to the main shareholders of like, I don't think we can do a hostile takeover.
No.
Saying that is weird.
Yeah, it's like look, not to be evil about it, you know, like it's weird.
We don't want to threaten a hostile takeover of stock exchanges, but like, right.
That's a nice video game company you got there. Be a real shame if
you couldn't afford it anymore.
Something were to happen.
Yeah.
You know, and it's super weird. It's icky. And then on top of that, we found out about the other lie in the pot here, which is that for the lead up all the way to Bethesda's purchase Microsoft's purchase of the Bethesda, we were told, legacy franchises already existing on multiple platforms. We are unlikely or flat out will not take exclusive. Elder Scrolls 6 coming exclusively to the Xbox.
Yeah.
Phil, you lied. You lied to regulators. You lied to your fans. Look, and they got Todd Howard doing some lying now too. He's the president of Bethesda. When asked about how he feels about the Starfield exclusivity, he goes, well, when you think of Nintendo, you think of Zelda. Or when you think of Zelda, you think of Nintendo. And I go, yeah, but Nintendo made that game. They didn't buy someone who was making that game. They
in the
made
middle
that
of them
game.
making that game.
Yeah. They didn't go, oh, we'll take that, and now it belongs just to us. They made it, and that's the big thing. We talked about this whenever we first got into these conversations about the FTC stuff. My problem isn't that Microsoft wants to buy more games. My problem is that Microsoft's solution to them not having not properly investing in and giving enough time and effort and doing the right kind of hiring and stuff to make good games is to just buy companies that make good games. the big ones, so that their competitor can't have it. So if you look at Sony's library of people, yes, Final Fantasy is sometimes exclusive for like 6 months. And then after that, it's available everywhere, right? Like,
says you.
16 will be available on Xbox next year. 7 is only going to be exclusive for 3 months. Dude, it's not that big a deal. And then all their other exclusives are in-house developed games. Spider-Man, developed by Insomniac, a company that has only ever made PlayStation exclusives for the most part, except for the one time they made an Xbox exclusive. And they came around to helping out with Sony, and after 4 successful partnerships together, they finally bought that company. Naughty Dog, another company that mostly made stuff for Sony, bought that company, but it's because they sat there and they built it up,
They
invested in it, and it was after a proven track record of working together on exclusives that they were willing to buy that as a first-party studio.
Yeah, I guess Microsoft is so rich that we did the same thing. We bought a company. I mean, we've talked about this.
Where would Call of Duty be without Xbox Live is one of the things that Phil Spencer has said before, which, kind of fair. I'm a little mad that that's a fair point to make.
Yeah,
because they didn't invent online play, but they did invent modern day lobbies.
I mean, when you think of Xbox Live, you do kind of think of the modern
Call of Duty.
I like the idea of always investing in smaller studios in anything, in any form of art, to then make them independent, but under this bigger umbrella with the oversight of we can get your stuff out to more people.
Yeah, you can feel the freedom that the PlayStation studios have.
Yeah, and I think that kind of partnership when managed by, we'll call it a spade, a mega corporation, Sony. I think being under umbrella can work well for smaller studios when it comes to art. But I think then just purchasing the number one. We want it. And it's just
deciding that you can't win, so you purchase the number one game is real classic Xbox or Microsoft tactics. And that's my biggest thing here. This just proves the track record that we were talking about, that I was frustrated that the FTC didn't bring up more of. Microsoft has a history of buying out competitors, making it more difficult. Even if it kills that thing that they bought, they will buy it out so their enemies can't have it. It's an aggressive strategy. Yes, it is a valid one in capitalism, unfortunately, but it is.
Well, and you know what? He does have a point where he's like, well, when you think of Zelda, you think of Nintendo, and yes, that started as its own thing.
But that was back whenever they were also they're also a publishing label.
Well, I was gonna say, 30 years from now, when we're still ranting about this and we're in our 60s,
that's bold of you to assume I'm going to make it.
That's also same the way that I'm eating currently. I think, are people just going to look at it and even remember that? Yeah. Or is it going to be
it's hard to say.
Follow Xbox, duh.
But here's the thing: we're kind of we've already kind of lived through one of those points at this point, because Sega went under in terms of publishing, or in terms of the console market, right? And for a long time, you associated Sonic only with Sega, but now you kind of associate it with Xbox and PlayStation, and Sonic's an available everywhere kind of thing. Mm-hmm. That stuff can fade off once a console dies. My bigger thing is that Sega is still Sonic, I don't consider Sonic an Xbox exclusive, even though there have been Xbox exclusive Sonic games. There's Nintendo exclusive Sonic games. That's still a Sega arm. And then on the other end of that, Spyro and Crash, both icons of the PlayStation brand, are now in Xbox's hands. But they're always going to have that mentality. I played both remasters. And I'll tell you, I played one of them on the Switch, and it felt wrong. I played Crash Bandicoot on the Switch, and I felt like a monster.
Felt like Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah. I was
like a fart.
I was definitely not Crash Bandicoot and hollering. I was having a bad time.
I think, but that's just to play devil's advocate. And I know, like, it is, you know, it is going to be me, big corporation defender here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just because we're old enough to know that.
True.
You know?
But also the marketing was all around all that, you know? For a long time, the marketing for Crash Bandicoot and stuff was Crash Bandicoot going outside of the Nintendo headquarters, be like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" You know, like yelling at them and talking about how great his game was, or like crashing his cart through the Nintendo offices and stuff. Wild times to be alive during the early days of.
Yeah, all I'm just saying is that we look at a lot of this through rose-colored glasses, kind of like how people like look at Star Wars and they won't touch anything that like Disney has put out.
That's dumb.
And you're just like, well, it's not. We're 30, you know, like it's.
My problem isn't that it's taking.
I still think it is gross.
Yeah.
That they knew exactly what they were doing. It's in the emails.
Yeah.
They always wanted to have a hostile takeover of some mega chain,
and they found one.
And they found one that they could sink their teeth into. If not, like, it's just out there now. They just released it. I worked on this story for 20 years and he just tweeted it out. Have you ever seen that meme?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, does it feel gross? Am I kind of over it? Isn't that how this works? How like corporations break your soul? And I'm kind of over it.
They want you to not care anymore.
A little bit. Will we still continue to talk about it? Sure. I just don't know where.
For your sake, we have to care.
I just don't know what the next, like, how this.
Well, the sad part is that we're past the point of no return.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of is going to be like a defeatist message that we're talking about here. You know what I'm saying?
There's not much that can be done. I mean, the FTC could try to be like, okay, now that this is out in the public court of opinions and stuff, we
have a retrial, but I doubt it.
They could. Whether or not that gets, you know, the ire of Congress and stuff about them wasting taxpayer dollars on this, it would be a whole separate thing. But I think that they would have a better chance probably now that this is out in the open.
Well, is the British one?
They're not done yet. They're still
CMTs are still.
CMA is still working on it.
CMA, country music television.
It's complicated lingo for those country music artists. So I'm not sure where we go from here. It's nice to know.
I didn't want to make you sad. I'm just saying, I
am sad.
What's the end goal of this segment?
To report on the news. Look, talking about this stuff is never fun because I hate talking about corporate takeovers and the destruction of independent video game companies and all that stuff. But look, I don't think it's going to be terrible. I think the fact that they got Activision means that they're going to not go after Nintendo or Warner Bros. I also double dog dare you to try because Nintendo, again, will not put up with your bullshit. Flat out. They will do ritualistic suicide before they let you have Mario. You take their plumber from their cold dead hands.
Yeah.
So you go, wahoo!
Right out the door.
Yeah.
I don't envision a world where one of the three.
And this may not even pan out in a way that they think that it is, because I think that if they take any of the major things from Activision exclusive, it's going to be a problem.
Well, you know, I just don't see a world where any of the three major things that make systems will ever get you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, making video games is one thing.
No one's losing enough money yet.
Yeah, Nintendo's like, what, we like literally sell hundreds of thousands of these every single year, so
millions,
sorry.
Yeah. They're still projecting to sell 1.8 million consoles this year.
Yeah, so like, why would we let you purchase it?
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is, you know, when Sega went under, the video game market was volatile, and now the only person who's losing money on console sales really is Microsoft. And they kind of shot themselves in the foot. We forgot to mention this, but it turns out 74% of current Xbox generation owners own an Xbox Series S, not a Series X. So when you're asking yourself, well, why do they keep sacrificing the quality of this game or that game for this lesser version of the console? It's because they don't have a choice. They made a lower powered console that was highly affordable. I have an S. I like it. Probably would like an X a little bit better, but not enough that I was willing to pay the $200 extra. So I don't even know if this is going to be beneficial to them in the long run. Their install base is mostly on their cheaper system. That's why they targeted 30 FPS and stuff with Starfield, I think. I think that there's a lot of things that indicate that they can't capitalize on this well because they did what they did. And so taking it exclusive would be detrimental to the overall product because it would be less solid to do that.
I get you want to get people on, like, you want to get people into your system, so giving a cheaper version. I mean, like, look, the technically, you were saying PlayStation did this, but didn't really sacrifice gameplay for the digital-only version.
Right.
And it wasn't that much. It was like, what, $100 less?
It was $100 left, and less because it had no disk drive.
Right. So that kind of makes sense to me.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like
I paid for the disc drive just because I have Blu-rays.
Yeah, I need my UHD player.
But
for all the digital movies I buy.
Right, exactly. For me to just go on Amazon and buy the movie. I think that just makes so much sense to be like, why are these things scaled down? Why are they not working? Why are they buggy? Why are they broken? Yeah. Most of our players got the cheap one.
We didn't know that we didn't think they were going to buy that one.
We forgot that people will always take the cheaper route.
We thought for sure the marketing about the mini fridge was going to be very powerful, but they went for the fucking sound box.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. I mean, so
75% of your install.
75%. That's a lot. I mean, the takeaway here is we'll see. You know, Phil Spencer says that this isn't the real plan. I expect that we'll see a lot of this stuff come to fruition in the next year and a half. Elder Scrolls 6 is still way off in 2026, so who knows? The console market could change entirely. They may have no choice but to release it on everything. It'll really come down to how sales go. So we'll have to keep an eye on all that, and that's what we're here for. And speaking of things that we're here for, it's time for the recommendations of the week.
Microsoft cannot buy Nintendo. Anyway.
All right. Well, you start with what's good to watch.
Did a review on One Take Podcast if you're looking for a podcast about movies and ranting about weird Twitter habits.
URL.
Thank you. Don't listen to it around your kids while you're driving. I promise they'll ask you what that word means. But I think...
What a content advisory warning right here.
I think... there wasn't a lot of movies that came out this week that were really worth it. Like, they're still playing Gran Turismo in theaters and stuff, trying to make as much money for that. Actually got good reviews.
I think it broke even.
Yeah, which is crazy. I mean, like, nothing's coming out in theater. I think the one thing that a lot of people are going to go see is A Haunting in Venice, which I'm going to try to get to this week. But
secret sequel to the Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah, exactly. And Death on the Nile, which nobody really knew was the sequel to...
Which came out in the middle of the pandemic, so it was kind of
weird
a weird
release for these movies, but it's going to make a lot of money.
It had the Army Hammer stuff going on.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, that movie had a rough time. It had a solid script, great cast, except for one.
And except for Gal Gadot can't act. But the thing that I saw last week, I saw... I was going to say Extraction, but that's not... The Equalizer 3 with Denzel Washington. Did a review on that on our 4 o'clock show. Solid action movie. Denzel is 70 years old, so...
Still killing it.
Still killing it. Still killing
other people.
The one thing that, like, if you're looking for something just to stream at home, we did a review, like, all the way back over... Theater Camp, which was a movie that came out literally like a month ago, and they Fox Searchlight Pictures, which is owned by Disney, who basically owns Hulu now, threw that on Hulu. It didn't make a lot of money. Truly independent film. They made it in like 19 days, but it has recognizable faces that you'll know from things like Ben Platt and Molly Gordon, Io Adebri, who was in The Bear, and Jimmy Tatro, who you either know from YouTube or a number of other character actor things that he's in. But very irreverent, very funny mockumentary. Some of the best child acting that I think I've ever seen. Incredibly funny. One of the funniest movies that I think you'll watch this year. Only an hour and like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for something in the stream,
That's not bad. That's an easy watch.
Yeah, something to stream at night. They also have another 2023 movie, which you may or may not like. It's basically like a leftist manifesto. It's called How to Blow Up a Pipeline.
Careful.
Yeah.
Careful when searching that one.
Yeah, but that was a 2023 movie that got a lot of got good reviews from people, and they just threw that up there. They didn't make any money, but they threw that up there automatically.
Sometimes the movie don't make money. Sometimes it's just there to get. The money comes later on whenever it becomes a cult classic.
Yeah.
Except that they're trying to kill
So
those.
those are two 2023 movies that are currently on Hulu. If you're looking for a recommendation,
And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Mutant Mayhem
is on Paramount. Yeah,
now.
which awesome movie.
Incredible.
By the way,
Loved it.
yeah.
Yeah, just watched it with my kids. As for me, video game side, there's a lot of good stuff. We've talked about it all year long that this year has been chock full of stuff that you should be playing. What I've been playing this week has been I started my adventures in Baldur's Gate 3. Much to our chagrin, it did not go as well as we hoped, but I'm still enjoying it. It's D&D through and through. I like the rolling mechanics. I can see how you can get lost in it. It's not going to... On my own.
When did you and your wife start it?
No, me and Robbie and
Okay.
Alex. Yeah, my wife. I offered to have her play, and she don't want anything to do with that. So it's okay. She's busy. She's in school, college. Just to be clear.
School.
It's probably obvious, but you can never be too safe whenever saying words out loud now.
Oh my God.
I don't know if I should cut that or not.
That's really funny. That's really funny.
Just to be clear,
Grown people school.
she's 28.
Grown people
Okay.
school.
Big.
Oh my God.
We're okay. I got 2 kids. Okay.
Doesn't clarify,
Not
brother.
getting worse.
Let's pull this up. What are we playing?
Yeah. So Baldur's Gate 3. I played a ton of Mortal Kombat 1. I got some qualms with the quality of life stuff that's been taken out since Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah.
Why can't I put combos on the screen? I have the memory of a goldfish. You expect me to remember 4 button inputs across 30 separate combos? Dude, you're out of your mind. Bring back the ability to put that shit on screen. I don't have that kind of time to memorize that stuff. I've played 24 hours of this game, and I've barely memorized anyone. I don't know what I'm doing. Please help me. But I've been having fun with it.
Oh,
it's a
sure.
good time.
Yeah.
We did Weekend Warrior with, me and Christian did this last weekend, and he pummeled me into the ground. But it was still a good time. I'm having a lot of fun. I went online and played a game that was at 2 frames a second because of lag, and that was fun. And then the invasion game mode is a never-ending onslaught of bullshit, mocking modifiers that want to make you feel like a bad person for continuing to play. What I really enjoyed playing, though, is a little... It's been a little time. Yeah,
Jack and Diane.
yeah. I've been doing a lot of little ditties about Jack and Diane this week. I'm back in Pokemon. This DLC came out.
Like you never left.
It's fine. It's fun. Me and my daughter are playing. I've done a lot of that. We played TMNT Shredder's Revenge, the arcade
Nice.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. Been playing through that with my daughter. She loves it. She mostly just stands in the corner and smacks stuff with Donnie's stick, but I do all the hard work.
I play the game. Then
I
we
play the
advance.
game, and it's good.
Uh-oh.
No.
While he fixes that, I think I've said this on a couple of episodes, but it's like the longest game of all time. My wife and I have been playing It Takes Two, which I know came out a couple of years ago now, but like, it's so much fun. Like, I can't get over how fun a game about divorce is, but like, yeah, be prepared that you're in a good place when you play that with your significant
and
other.
Armored Core 6, also still loving that, but I hate that circle guy. I'm gonna need him to stop shooting me with those rockets and those fires. But that's all we got this week. As always, if you like what we do here, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications so you don't miss the next one. Be on the lookout for our upcoming Starfield review, our upcoming Mortal Kombat 1 review. I've just put up a video all about monetization and how it's trying to kill you.
We're looking at you, 2K. That's why you got bad reviews. And you didn't give me a code, so I have no problem.
You gotta learn your lesson about not giving us a code, but also about why are you doing that? With the
I reviewed your golf. I reviewed both of your golf games.
Yeah.
Gave them good reviews.
We did all the golf. Where's the basketball?
The big money one.
Where's the rugby?
I don't know.
We didn't get the rugby one either. The cricket? Do we want cricket?
I don't know.
I don't
think I'm good.
Do we know what the sticks do?
No.
I don't
know. I cannot tell you the rule. I know that cricket can go on for days.
There's a goose, I think, involved somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm. We're rambling. By the way, Matt, like for the sports game enthusiasts, if you even watch this, Madden and 2K both stink, apparently.
Yeah, don't buy them.
So there's that.
Until they're on sale and you want to hurt yourself, don't buy them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, it's not much else to say. There's a lot of good stuff. I mean, yeah, go check out my video from the other day. You can catch Royden's reviews over on the 4 p.m. every so often. We'll have a link to One Take Podcast down in the description down below. But for now, I'm Andrew Hamilton. That's Royden Ogletree. This is Uplink, and we'll see you guys next week.